Hello everybody, it's Caleb Hack. Welcome to another video. In the month of April, I read 4 books. So the first book I'm going to address is Destiny of the Republic. This book was done in such a fantastic way. This person obviously knew where the end result of the history was, knew the history very well, and framed the story in a way where it was history, but it was done in such an exciting manner. This story is mostly about Garfield. And to me, Garfield always seemed like this president who did nothing, because he actually really didn't in terms of how he served being president. For those of you who don't know, he was the second assassinated president. He was the 20th president of the United States. He died in the same year which he was elected, but he actually got shot in July. So he was basically bleeding out from July all the way to September. And he was assassinated by Charles Guiteau. This book goes through Charles Guiteau and Garfield's life, but not in a way that's choppy, but in a way where it flows. And Garfield actually was an abolitionist, and he met with Booker T. Washington. I read a previous book, Up From Slavery, which is an autobiography of the life of Booker T. Washington, and Booker T. Washington mentions meeting Garfield. Another person that this story outlines is Alexander Graham Bell. He invented the telephone. And actually, while Garfield lay on deathbed, they were trying to figure out where the bullet was. And what Alexander Graham Bell did was he bought this little thing called a metal detector. And, well, it also could detect lead, and put it throughout his body. Now, it didn't really work, but he kept working on it, and it became the metal detector. So that's actually kind of interesting to see how Alexander Graham Bell true to this. And one last thing I would like to leave on with this book is malaria, because malaria was so prevalent then. I mean, it's pretty crazy. Garfield got malaria. The next book, The Religious Beliefs of the Founding Fathers. Now, what this book was essentially going through is the fact that they're all theistic rationalists. And it goes into further detail of everything and how they came to that belief. And I encourage you guys to look at this because it's interesting just to see how different people come to different conclusions. And what they were all trying to do is basically say how Romans 13, 1-7 was wrong. Romans 1:7 says, "Let everyone be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God, those that exist and have been instituted by God. Therefore, whoever resists the authorities resists what God has appointed, and those who resist will incur judgment." And you can keep reading of that and get the context of what they're saying. A lot of the Founding Fathers would say be Christians, and he would say they're not Christians because they reject fundamental beliefs of Christianity, theistic rationalism. I encourage everyone to read this book. Okay. This book is huge, as you can tell. If you're going to read this book, write a short bio of all the characters. Now, what is it? This book is about John D. Rockefeller, and John D. Rockefeller is a controversial person. Everything he did can only be judged based on your presuppositions. He was also very, very fortunate. I mean, he was an owner of a store, and then this guy called Gregg found oil in Pennsylvania, and I mean, that was it. Rockefeller started Standard Oil with associates William Rockefeller and Henry Flagler. And at the same time, you also then had the Industrial Revolution and the horseless carriage and, became the car. He made most of his money while in retirement because the car was made when he was retired. I highly encourage you reading this. I could keep going into detail on and on and on and on. This book is called What Do Muslims Believe? It's interesting to try to look at different religions and try to come from different vantage points and see how other people view the world. In America, it doesn't seem like there's so much of a prevalency of the Islamic religion. But obviously, in Middle Eastern countries and in Upper Africa, the Islamic religion is very strong and alive. And it's good to know what it's like being on the other side of the world and seeing what other people see. And I encourage everyone to do that. Try to get different opinions and try to see the world a little bit differently. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. You may notice I put a little bit of a different format in this. I went more into detail with the books, and I didn't give the word count. If you'd like to see the word count, go to the description down below. But the reason why I'm trying to change it up is I'm trying to see what I like the best, and I'm trying to see what other people like the best. So if you could give me feedback, that would be amazing, because I really want to see what resonates with you guys and what you guys really find entertaining. I'm excited for some of the books I have planned next month. I hope you guys enjoyed. Caleb Hack, signing out.